the stance. There are several different ways you can set up to the golf ball. You can set up to the golf ball with a closed stance, like so. You can set up to the golf ball with an open stance, like this. You can set up to the golf ball with a square stance, with your body perfectly in line. Sometimes people have a tendency to set up with a too narrow of a stance, and sometimes people have too wide of a stance. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each of those right now. With a closed stance, most of the time, people think it's going to be easier to hit a draw, which is a ball flight from right to left, which is an ideal ball flight for most golfers. The problem is, most people don't know how to do that correctly. Most people will have their feet closed or aimed to the right, but their shoulders will be aimed down the target line. What this is going to cause is your body to fight itself. So rather than being able to swing inside out, you're actually going to still be coming across the golf ball. It's actually going to cause a ball to go left to right. Tiger Woods does this on purpose when he wants to hit a left to right ball flight, because he knows his body's going to fight itself. So instead of worrying about all those issues, let's just not even attempt to have a closed stance. So let's move on to the open stance. With an open stance, your feet are aimed to the left of the target. You're going to swing over the top of the golf ball from right to left, outside in, and it's going to cause the golf ball to go from left to right, or a fade or a slice. Most amateurs have a tendency to hit a golf ball that goes left to right. So in order to fix that, I see people aiming more and more and more left to try and compensate for that ball flight. What this is going to cause is a bigger slice, because it's going to cause you to swing more and more and more across the golf ball. So rather than doing that, let's just completely eliminate the fact that we're even going to have a thought about the open stance, okay? Let's talk about the square stance, which is what I recommend for most golfers. A square stance, to me, is going to allow you the best chance to have your body working together throughout the entire swing, from start to finish. With a square stance, your feet are aimed right at your target line. Your shoulders are square with your feet, also at the target line. So now nothing is fighting itself, okay? And a good drill for that is you simply hold the club right in front of you, right in the middle of your body, with it pointing to the sky, and you drop it straight down. Your shoulders will automatically align themselves with your feet, okay? Now let's talk about the width of the stance. Most people I know have a tendency with the driver to get very wide with their stance because they feel it's how they're going to get braced for power. But what happens is it eliminates the amount of turn you're able to have. It actually causes a rocking motion in this manner. What this is going to cause from the top is to be too steep on your downswing. When I say steep, you're swinging down at the golf ball, and what that will cause is for you to go almost underneath the golf ball and hitting it with the top of your club, okay? So let's not get too wide. On the other hand, you don't want to get too narrow either, because then you'll have no stability and you'll lose balance and your feet won't be able to work properly in the golf swing. So now that we talked about too wide, too narrow, how do we find the right width for you? Well, we have pitching wedge, we have our middle irons, long irons, and our woods. When I'm hitting my wedges, you don't want to be very wide because it's a shorter club. So you want to be slightly narrower than shoulder width. As the club gets longer, so does the arc. Your brace needs to become a little firmer, so you're going to get a little bit wider with your stance. By the time you have the driver in your hands, I recommend slightly wider than shoulder width. That way you have a nice firm brace, but you're still able to turn. So square stance, square shoulders, slightly wider than shoulder width, and that's how you set up to the driver.